Alright, Light Elf, guess what? I've been up since 5 a.m. and it is currently, let's see, what time is it? 9:03 my time. I got a live stream in a couple of hours, so I hope that you'll have seen that, and well, you know how that goes. Hopefully this does not turn out like my last video, which was yesterday's Full Scale Friday video, where the video files got jumbled up in my editor, which was nice. Alright, so you had a few different questions here, and they all seem to be related to where you are right now. Honestly, and you've seen me shuffle these cards, so you know that I'm not stacking these decks in any way. Honestly, I think the situation that you're in is a good one. And I'm going to tell you exactly why. Number one, getting sober. That one can be a little difficult, especially when you have stressors all around you. However, one of the things that you pointed out is where you're located right now, there's nothing happening. Believe me when I say where I used to live, there was nothing happening. And to be honest, that's where I want to go back to eventually. Honestly, the excitement and all that, that's really great for a while, but you run into way more headache when you have excitement. Believe that. I've been there, I've done it, I came, I saw, I want to go home. The area where you are right now, that is going to be absolutely conducive to saving for a plot of land that's yours. That, I would say, keep where you are. This family member that you have, though, causing you a lot of grief. That's one I can't give you a whole lot of advice on. But with your current situation, your location where you are, your sobriety, and your family member, the one thing we can do is we can distill those three questions down to one thing. What do you need to know right now? What do you need to know for this upcoming year? And how can you maximize all the benefits and minimize all the grief? So that's what I've asked the cards. Let's see what we got. So, start out just like any other reading. I'm probably going to do something a little bit different though. Haven't figured it out yet, but we'll see. So, I hope your birthday was a happy one. Again, I apologize for not getting this out sooner. But I did decide today was a really good day to go ahead and get this knocked out, because it's not just yours I've got to do. I've got 2 more readings after yours to do. And I think I'm just going to get yours out first because, yeah, I did promise yours, and I really need to get yours done, and we really need to get these answers out there because these answers are super important at the moment. And forgive my sinuses, they are currently draining into my throat. That's the thing, I could go all morning without this stuff in the back of my throat, but then I get to do a video and my sinuses are like, unleash the mucus. Don't know why. Just happens. Okay. Here we go. Tarot cards are laid out. You know, I don't really work that much with this Work Your Light Oracle deck, but something told me this is going to be the one you need for today. So we're going to go ahead and lay that out. And we're going to do this bad boy. Because sometimes these cards put out some really super powerful messages. And we do need that today, don't we? And then finally, I do have your runes. There we are. Yeah. There we go. Alright, here we are. Alright. So, your birthday, November 29th, we are well past that. Let's see what we got. Start with you. I got Loki for you. Isn't that a hell of a thing? With this one, it's letting you know things aren't always what they seem. Try not to take things so seriously. Have a more lighthearted approach to things. Keep a good sense of humor. Because keeping a sense of humor, even during some of the worst situations, some of the most trying times, it can be a bit of a challenge, but if you're able to do it successfully, it can also be a lot of relief. Some people know this, some people don't. I used to work in a prison. I did it for almost a decade. And in that near decade that I worked in there, I had to learn pretty quickly to quit taking myself so seriously. I developed a sense of humor. It's a little dark, it's a little brutal, but it helped me get through a lot. Because if I didn't do that, it was either going to be eventually have a nervous breakdown or start drinking heavily. Drinking I can do. I can't do it heavily. I know people who could take a fifth of whiskey and can drink it like a bottle of cherry Coke, and I just can't do it. Like, I'll get sick. And some are like, oh, you'll get used to that. No, thank you. I couldn't do it. But what I can do is I can amuse myself. I can laugh at things. I can learn to view things in a certain way that maybe it doesn't seem like that. And maybe I can laugh at it. Because if you laugh, you're enlightened. That's something I learned from Tim Allen. By the way, I do recommend his books, Don't Stand Too Close to a Naked Man, and I'm Not Really Here. Check those two out. I think you'll enjoy them. Guided. Well, you're really not. This is where you're kind of left to your own devices. Because nothing's been decided for you, and that's a big relief. Or at least it should be. Because right now, what you're being told with just these two cards alone is, try to lighten up a little bit. Try to have a little more humor about what you're doing. When things seem like they're really stressful, try to figure out a way to make yourself laugh at it. Because the more you're laughing, again, the more you're enlightened. That comes from Tim Allen's book, I'm Not Really Here. With that void card, you're not being really guided. This is where the universe of the gods are taking their hands off and they're saying, okay, kid, we've taught you enough. Let's see what you do with it. And that's going to be one of the most important things to remember. Because the hands are off, and now you're free to wander, you're free to explore, you're free to test boundaries. Go test them. Go explore. Go do what you do best. Now, looking out into untouched nature here. Got you a badger spirit. We all know one thing about the badger. The badger don't give a fuck. So you're going to be fearless. You're going to be bold. And what does that mean to you? When you look at that badger, when you see that it's fearless and it's bold, you understand that it doesn't give a fuck. A badger is a badger. Honey badgers are honey badgers. They're tough. They're resilient. They don't give a fuck. Oh, you're a lion? I'm a fucking honey badger. And I'm not asking for your permission. I'm not asking for your consent, not asking for your approval, and I don't fucking need it. That's the kind of message that they deliver. One of the things that I've come across recently was it was a video, short clip of Jocko Willink, who is an American Navy SEAL. And he said that there was a study done. In this study, they took these convicted violent felons and they showed them videos of just people crossing the street, just single individuals crossing a street, and they asked these felons, would you pick that person as a target? And of course they would say, oh yeah, that one, yeah, totally. Oh nope, that one I would not pick that one as a target. That one, I don't know. This one, definitely. That one, yes. That one, no, I wouldn't. And whenever they pulled the ones that they wouldn't touch, they pulled them out and they said, why not this one? The answer was always the same. That one kind of looks like he has it together. She looks like she has it together. They're organized, they're confident, they're assured of themselves, and they walk as though they know it. The badger doesn't give a fuck. The badger will take on a lion, the badger will take on a snake, the badger will take on anything. But not until it's important to do so. That's going to be the one thing. That's how you be fearless. That's how you be bold. That's how you approach it that way. You can be even more fearless. You eliminate your fear when you're laughing at something. You're bold when you're not taking it so seriously. Let's have a look at the mind real quick. Come here. There we go. Got a King of Swords. I've got a Ten of Cups in reverse. And I've got a Seven of Cups in reverse. Right now, you have total control over the conflicts in your life. You really do. You do have those things well thought out. You have control over your thoughts. You're thinking more clearly. I know you say that you don't feel productive, and it shows in these two cards here. Namely, with the Ten of Cups, you feel like Ten of Cups is about family. And you feel like you're losing that. And I say feel because the Cups suit is a card that's primarily emotion. And you're feeling that emptiness there. But starting from here, yeah, you may have to cut ties with that family member. And you're going to feel that emptiness. You're going to feel that raw, that raw loss there. But you are being reminded that that difficult choice may not be yours to make. In fact, that difficult choice is probably that family member's choice to make, and that family member's not making the right one. These are the things going through your mind right now. But we will come back to that because it's going to be important. What you think is going to affect the physical. I've got a Five of Cups right out of the gate. I've got Temperance in reverse, and I've got the Fool. Whatever it is you're regretting, you need to go back and re-examine it, because there's something to learn there. And that's what the Five of Cups represents, is that loss. It's regret, but you haven't learned anything from it. You're just kind of sitting in it. That's not going to help you. And this is you that we're talking about. And you still have a full year to really kind of turn this thing around for you. Really, the lack of temperance, what that represents is you going from one extreme to another. Remember, it's okay to indulge. This is one of the things I learned from LaVey and Satanism, so take it with a grain of salt. They say they preach indulgence, not compulsion. Okay, what does that mean? It's very simple. Personally, I like to have a drink on occasion. I am also I'm also a fan of weed. Big surprise there. I'm a fan of those things. I like a good cup of mead. I like a good sweet red wine. I love a good beer. Hard liquor, I'm not really too keen on. But if I have to pick, Jack Daniel's Tennessee Fire, I could drink it all day. There's the problem. I could drink it all day. But will I? No, absolutely not. Couple glasses of that on the rocks, I'm good and solid. Couple cups of mead, a couple good mugs of it, yeah, I'm good. Couple glasses of the sweet red wine, I'm awesome. Couple beers, I'm good. I've indulged. Then I have to stop. The thing is, if I find that I cannot stop, that becomes compulsion. Now what do? The good news about any of these cards is that you can turn them around at any time. But this lack of temperance is what's hurting you. You're going to have to set hard limits for yourself somewhere. But if you're just going from one extreme to the other, that's where you're going to hurt yourself, because it can only last for so long. And the Fool card. This is your new adventure. And right now you're just embarking on it. When we start these new adventures, whether it's sobriety or weight loss or whatever, we think of all the ideal stuff. Oh, now I've got this, that, and the third going on. The problem is we never really think about the process, do we? And sometimes the process can it can be a bit of a drag. I mean, look at the bottom of this card. If you notice, the Fool is walking away from a very shining kingdom there, dog nipping at his heels, and he's just dancing around. This guy there's a certain naivete that goes along with that. It doesn't mean that every new adventure you're going to be naive. It just means you're going to be naive about some things until you've learned more about them. So always be ready to learn. Be ready to look back. You can look forward, and that's fine. But if you're not aware of where you are, that could be disastrous. Now is a gift. That's why it's called the present. Let's have a look spiritually, see how you're doing there. Well, I got a King of Wands in reverse. I've got a Hierophant. Oh, good news. Got a Devil in reverse. So right now, this isn't control over your creative ability. As a matter of fact, you kind of feel like your creative ability is being a little stifled. I could tell that. And that's the stifling of your creative ability is from this sort of appeal to authority. You're kind of looking everywhere but yourself at the moment. However, that stifled feeling of creativity, it needs to come along sometimes, because that appeal to authority, someone who might know a little more than you, like if you do have someone who can minister to you, that's where this Hierophant's coming in. And that Hierophant is going, maybe you don't agree with everything they say, but there's going to be a little pearl of wisdom in there. And that pearl of wisdom leads right over to this Devil card in reverse, which means it's liberation time, baby. I love seeing this card in reverse. I love it when this comes up in reverse in a personal reading, because it means you'll have broken yourself free from a certain mindset or from a certain prison of your own making. And once you've done that, you've really unfucked yourself. Having it like this, I'm seeing things right now just in the tarot that are coming up. This King of Swords, this lack of temperance, you have control over your thoughts, but this lack of temperance leading, if you could spin that around, I know that you have sort of this going on. You have that King of Swords, the temperance in reverse, but you also have this Hierophant here. This Hierophant's a friend, and they're not going to let you do something stupid. They're going to present the other side to your argument. When you tell them, I'm thinking about moving because there's just nothing happening here, I'm bored, etc., etc., that friend's going to tell you what's going to matter most to you, your excitement now or that plot of land later that you can do anything with. Which one? Which one do you really want? Comes down to the Diamond Dallas Page question during his yoga program. What do you want? That's the question to ask. And this is what's giving it to you right now. Because as much as you're looking forward to that new journey, you're just really willing to kind of, this current situation seems a little insufferable. I know. But right now, it's what's contributing to your ultimate liberation. I would say stay with what you have. Let's have a look at the oracle and see what's going on. I knew it. Son of a bitch. You know what? I knew this card was going to come up the minute I pulled this deck. And son of a bitch it did. Okay. But we're going to go through a couple other cards first. First is Lysalf Polluti. Now, Lysalf Polluti. Lysalf Polluti. In fact, I want you to grab a piece of paper or just pull up a notepad or something on your computer. Anywhere you can write these numbers down, okay, because you're going to need them. They're going to be absolutely instrumental in this next year for you. Lysalf Polluti in 741 hertz. This is you tuning into your heart. So you'll be able to find your way through any negative or toxic situation. You're going to have to start healing yourself, clearing your space, getting your head straight. Now, committing to a regular practice that helps you get in touch with your inner light, this is not going to let you be overcome with darkness and negativity, okay? But you're going to need that regular practice. This is when it says Lysalf Polluti, pollute being that root word there, you've got a lot of negativity, a lot of pollution in there. This is just like yesterday's reading, and I'm completely aware it edited out of sequence. It's my fault. I should have checked it. But what you've got right now, when you clean up your heart and your mind of your negativity and focus on what brings you joy, what brings you the most joy, that's absolutely going to take precedence in your life. When you begin to share it with others, sure, you might only have a few come in, maybe one or two, but when you begin to share it, when you begin to express it, you're going to light someone else up. That person's going to share, and they're going to bring them right back to you. You're going to take center stage in that, okay? But you have to clear out all the junk first. So this means you're going to have to get to a point where you're like, I'm not worried about what other people are thinking of me here. Be that unique version of you, because that's what's going to matter. So 741 hertz, I recommend that you go to YouTube and find any videos that have that frequency as a, starting out, that frequency is going to be what I usually do these as, what do I call them, sleep meditations. If you don't have time to meditate during your day, you can do it at night when you're going to sleep. And having one of those videos on that does that kind of resonance, and maybe a visualization if you want, or some of them just do a black screen in that sound. It's going to be absolutely fundamental. I'd say your first 6 months should be that. Do a little sleep meditation, do a regular practice, do a meditation with that sound. If you find those sounds on Spotify, even better. The next numbers you should write down: 528 hertz. Feel free to pause this if you need to. Right there, 528 hertz, mandala of the heart. So the previous card told you get back into what lights you up, what lights your heart up. I mean, you feel it. Get back to that. This one, sometimes just those aspects of our life, they fall apart. They don't go to plan. But this is so that they can come back together in sort of a new way. So you got to trust in the goodness and the inevitable blessings of your destiny falling into place. Don't trust your fear, because your heartfelt wish is going to manifest. And finally, the seven blessings of Eve. I call this the Unfuck Yourself card, because this card is telling you, when I say unfuck yourself, that is exactly what I mean. I mean unfuck yourself here. What have we been talking about so far? Getting back to that which, makes you happy, lights you up, makes you just, when you see it, you're like, yes. So you have innate talents and abilities which will support your soul into full glorious manifestation. Okay, you've been blessed with a divine destiny to fulfill. You have a natural healing ability. So choose your thoughts and words so that they reflect what you truly wish to put out into the world, because your influence is stronger and further reaching than you realize. Unfuck yourself. Because if you don't think that you're reaching people right now, take about a week off. See what happens. You're going to have a whole bunch of comments. Where did you go? Where are you? Yeah. I'll bet it's even happened already. Now let's have a look at your runes and we'll close this bad boy out. Thurisaz. Gabo, of course. And Nalthes. Okay. This does talk about struggle. But here's the thing. No storm can consume you if you're the storm. It's not you going up against Thor here. That's you in the picture. You really are more unstoppable than you actually believe. It's just, I hope that through this you'll actually start to believe it. And I hope that through this you'll continue what you're doing. And I hope that through this you'll take those gifts that you've been given and start developing them. Develop them in new ways. But here's the thing. You're going to need to focus on your needs. What you want is going to have to come later. What you need to do needs to be done now. It can only happen with a lighter-hearted approach. This is where the training wheels are off the bicycle. You're being told to just go out and ride. Ride until you get it right. Don't worry about what the rest are doing. Ride till you get it right. If you fall off the wagon, it's not that big a deal. Get back on it. From what I'm getting of this, you seem to be afraid to fail. Stop. Because failure teaches us so much more than we'll ever know. It's better than any teacher. And there's no better teacher than failure, and there's no better classroom than life. If the other person is dragging you down, if they're not supporting you, if they're not helping you, yes, absolutely, cut them off until they get it right. You've got your own stuff to worry about. You have your future in mind. Why are you putting it on hold for someone else? And look, I get it, they're family. But sometimes the best answer you can give to someone, well, actually, let me put it this way. I heard this in a movie. So when we ask our gods for the power to do something, we like to believe that they tend to empower us to do things for ourselves. But I'll never forget this. This was a line from a movie where I think it was Morgan Freeman who said this. He's like, we pray to God for a great many things. And the answer to those prayers is always what he has best in mind for us, even if sometimes that answer is no. So even if things are just going rough right now, sometimes the best answer you can give to that other person is no. As much as the hands are off of you now, you got to take your hands off of them. You've guided them all you can. I'm sure you've guided them more than what you're comfortable with. But right now, where you are is good. It's conducive to where you want to be. But that other person is not. And you've done everything you can. That's all anyone can ask. But take that bold step to tell them so. Alright, I think I've rambled on long enough. This was a lot of hard and straight advice for a birthday. I can't even tell you where you'll be next year. However, let's see something. I'm going to draw a couple more tarot cards and see what's going on. Let's see what's descending in your life. What's descending in your life are these opportunities. You know everything you need to know now to spot an opportunity to bring yourself in some financial stability and security. But what's ascending? Learning how to not drain yourself dry. You got to refill your own cup occasionally. But you can't keep pouring it out. You can only help others when you've helped yourself. So I hope this helps. There was a lot of really good advice. Like I said, it was given in a very brutal and very honest and forthcoming way. You had great questions. But this is what you need to know. Because this next year of your life is going to be the most critical. Always keep this in mind anytime you need to make a decision. And of course, you still got 3 more readings. Feel free to hit me up anytime. Alright? Brother, I want you to take care of yourself. Take care of those you can. Just remember, love you, brother. Always do what lights you up, because it's going to take you further than you can imagine. And as always, shine on.